Anything going through your mind at this point as you're seeing?
Yeah, I was shitting bricks. I mean, yeah, it was terrifying. I mean,
and are you trying to figure out?
I'm just trying to be cool, man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to not look like I'm trying to act normal.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know what this is for. I'm just trying to act like everything's fine.
Wow. So, okay, you see this orb levitating on this podium. Then what happens?
So we spent a little time there, and then we went to the next object, and it was another metallic object, very, very strange looking, same type of vibe. It's hard to describe because it didn't get a full view of it, but it looked like something you could like reach in and grab and pick up, and maybe it was something that would you could put on your arm, or so something that would have to use it with their arm. That's the best way I can describe it.
Like a gauntlet.
Like a gauntlet, yeah. That's a good analogy, or maybe something that would like be like a shield, but and it had like a crystal type of display screen, or I don't know if it was a display screen. It was a square, rectangular, looked like it would potentially be a display screen, and it was sitting. It was not levitating. It was sitting on a table, and at that point, like I'm looking at it, and it almost looked like a mirage type of effect, and in that. Above that display screen were these hieroglyphic symbols that I started to see appear.
What?
Yeah.
Hieroglyphic symbols.
That's the best way I could describe them.
And
I don't know what they were.
Anything going through your mind at this point as you're seeing?
Yeah, I was shitting bricks. I mean, yeah, it was terrifying. I mean,
and are you trying to figure out?
I'm just trying to be cool, man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to not look like I'm trying to act normal.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know what this is for. I'm just trying to act like everything's fine.
Yeah. And in retrospect, have you been able to deduce what any of these symbols were, or draw them up, or what they mean? Or
so I've randomly, like I told you, I meditate and all this stuff now, and during meditations I've had a couple times where I've thought about it and they've come into my thoughts. Also, the lawyer.
Danny Sheehan.
Yeah, he had talked about them, and he had drawn some that looked a lot like what I saw.
A lot like what you saw.
Yeah.
So for context for the audience, Danny Sheehan in 1974 or 5 was taken into a SCIF, again, secret compartmentalized information facility in Washington, D.C., I believe at the behest of the incoming Carter administration, so it might have even been 76, and he was shown basically the Blue Book files.
Right.
And he's looking through the Blue Book files, and he sees this UFO crashed into the side of a mountain.
Okay.
And it's the dead of winter, and there's some Air Force officers present. And he sees on the rim of the UFO these hieroglyphic symbols.
The UFO had crashed into this field, and there was snow, and the dirt was all turned up and stuff. And the UFO itself was stuck in the side of this big embankment. In one of the photos, I could see these symbols that were all around the base of the dome. And I took out the yellow pad and I opened it up to the inside cardboard of it, and I slid it under the microfiche machine, and I focused it so that I could see the symbols. And then I traced the symbols exactly, verbatim, all the way around the half of the dome that I could see, and I just I just traced all of them.
I saw that show, and what he had drawn is very close to what I seen. And also I want to touch on something else that this correlates with. Documentary that I saw on YouTube about DMT.
Yeah.
And these guys were doing experiments with DMT, and they found that everybody was seeing these same symbols when they shined a laser a certain way and kind of diffracted the laser in a way that you do like the double slit experiment.
Yes. And
in the diffraction, they saw these symbols, and those symbols are the same.
That's fascinating. Yeah, Danny Jones does this amazing show on this, and these guys they're doing DMT. They're showing a laser in a specific way exactly to create this diffraction effect, and then their kind of interpretation of this is like they're seeing almost like the source code, like a binary code behind what we're seeing. Which, that sounds absolutely absurd, but if you take physicists like John Wheeler seriously, or people like Claude Shannon, who was really more kind of information theory, but like maybe the universe is more information theoretic at its core, and we are rendering it in real time. And maybe when you take DMT, you ascend into these higher states, and you can actually look at the source code itself. It's fascinating.
And what does it mean then if that source code is in the same language of whatever
what you saw.
I saw on that device and whatever Danny saw on that craft?
That makes me think that these things off-world might be a slight misnomer, and it might be an interior fabric to the reality that we're in every day, or something even more fundamental to what we're seeing, or something.
Probably touching on something.
But when you're looking at these hieroglyphics, you obviously don't have the context of the Danny Sheehan interview or whatever.
Nothing at that point.
So what's the first thing that goes through your head as to like what this is?
Well, first thing is like, am I hallucinating, or am I seeing that? I was squinting and looking at it, and I think even one of the guys who was with us had asked me, like, because he saw me looking at it, and asked me if, like, are you everything all right? Or I don't remember exactly what he said, but he kind of inquired to why I was looking at it, and I was like, oh yeah, and I just kind of brushed it off and forgot about it. But I mean, not only did I see the symbols, but they were like changing to different symbols. So there was a movement to them as well. So they weren't just like static.
It's almost like they were shuffling in and out of.
You ever see or
like in the
Predator?
Yeah.
You know how when he has that little communicator thing, and he's like gonna blow himself up, and it does a little countdown.
Yeah.
I kind of look like that.
Do you feel like it was like a holographic display, or like the technology showing it? Did it feel prosaic, or did it feel like just something you'd never seen before as far as the display itself?
Holographic sure could have been, but it was very crisp. Like where I feel like the holographic technology I've seen at like CES or whatever, it's almost like kind of hard to.
Like you can see that it's a light.
You can tell that it's not. Yeah, that it's not a solid object. Or not a physical object.
Yeah. So you could see in that case that it was like a light display, and in this case, does it almost feel like it's like part of reality itself?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.